Local frozen yogurt shop is combining sweet treats and sweet games.
Alec Baldwin's new TLC show is already making headlines.
And Micron paid a visit to Syracuse's campus. All that and more, Unpeeled starts right now.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Unpeeled. I'm Rickie Potts.
And I'm Deitrick. Now we turn to some breaking news from earlier today.
We're sad to report actress Michelle Trachtenberg has died. Trachtenberg got her acting start on a Nickelodeon series called The Adventures of Pete and Pete before going on to play Georgina in Gossip Girl.
Police in Manhattan responded to an emergency call this morning. They found Trachtenberg unconscious and unresponsive. She was then pronounced dead on the scene. The medical examiner is determining cause of death as the investigation remains ongoing.
SNL's 50th anniversary special left people unwell. A COVID-19 outbreak is affecting dozens of attendees, including comedian Steve Martin.
Martin, who is 79, shared a statement on Instagram announcing his diagnosis, saying, quote, "The SNL 50th COVID curse is real." Martin's illness came at an unfortunate time as he is rescheduling 2 of his upcoming performances this weekend. And speaking of huge entertainment events, this past Sunday, the 31st Screen Actors Guild Awards took place. And instead of host Kristen Bell making fun of the actors, she took a different turn in lifting them up. She broke out into a song to the melody of "Do You Want to Build a Snowman" from the movie Frozen to show how everyone at the event once dreamed of being an actor.
While she sang, the screen behind her showed footage of various actors in their early career roles. The camera would then cut to the actors sitting in their audience chairs to show their reactions. The song brought out the uniqueness of the award ceremony, which is put on for actors by actors. Ben, I thought this was an awesome SAG Awards show. I thought it ran very smoothly. Nothing felt out of place or like a filler segment. Maybe being on Netflix kind of helped with that, but I was also super impressed with the diversity of representation among the nominees, whether it was Amelia Perez getting a ton of nominations or Shogun, which absolutely swept all of its categories. What was your favorite part of the show?
You know, that's tough to pick, but I'm going to have to go with Timothée Chalamet. I thought his speech was great, reflecting on his role in the new Bob Dylan movie, as well as how passionate he is about his career. This man is building up quite an impressive resume. He's actually the youngest Best Male Actor winner in SAG history. He was brutally honest in his speech, talking about how he wants to one day be remembered alongside the greats like Marlon Brando. And I know it's early, but it's safe to say he's on track for that.
Absolutely. And speaking of one of the greats, how about Jane Fonda's speech? Such a moving, passionate, piece of words that she gave out to the audience about supporting each other, whether it's in Hollywood or in the real world. And on top of that, she also mentioned how you don't have to make it to the big time when you're 20, as long as you do it at some point.
Yeah, I honestly felt like that was the real climax of the show, and given our current state, it was amazing to hear those words. But speaking of performances, North's performance as Simba in The Lion King at the Hollywood Bowl last year is coming back. Many thought North got the job because of her parents, and her mother, Kim Kardashian, knew to be prepared for the criticism. During the most recent episode of The Kardashians, she told the cameras, quote, "I already know what's coming," when referring to the hate.
North's performance of "I Just Can't Wait to Be King" received a ton of backlash on social media. Users argued that the performance wasn't as good as the Broadway stars West was duplicating. This didn't stop Kim from feeling anything but pride for her daughter. This kind of seems to always happen with Northwest. Anytime she does literally anything that she thinks is fun. I remember like a couple years ago, she made some beautiful nature painting and fans were calling her out saying it either wasn't her that painted it or just criticizing her in general. It's so dumb. Why does this keep happening?
Yeah, I mean, and we've also seen this when she's been featured on Kanye songs in the past. I mean, look, I feel like a lot of people are just projecting their hatred for Kim and Kanye towards North, which is totally unfair. She's an 11-year-old child. Let her be her own person. I mean, I feel like this happens with a lot of celebrity kids in general, honestly.
And that's part of the added expectations of being the child of someone wealthy. You know, everybody just expects you to either already have it made or have an easier path to making your own way in life. And we see this same type of criticism with people like Blue Ivy, even whenever she's wearing quite anything at her award shows or just anything they do. And it's like they're children. They can't even drive yet.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of stress and anxiety that comes along with it, too. Well, the pineapple under the sea is making history. SpongeBob SquarePants is officially the longest-running children's animated TV show of all time. The Nickelodeon favorite passed Arthur, which ended with 26 seasons in 2022. SpongeBob first aired in 1999 and has 313 episodes to date.
And the show isn't seeing any signs of slowing down. The Bikini Bottom franchise already has 3 movies attached to it, with a 4th expected to release later this year, along with 2 spin-off movies about beloved characters Sandy and Plankton. What an amazing accomplishment for an amazing show, in my opinion, the greatest kids show that's ever been made. I mean, it's so popular. Who in America doesn't know what SpongeBob is? And to beat a legendary show like Arthur, super impressive.
SpongeBob has become quite the cultural zeitgeist. I mean, so many memes, so many trends and viral moments from the show. And what I really like how it's really not just a kid show. I mean, there's something for everybody. When I was younger, my parents would always say, hey, we actually find this really funny. And yeah, I mean, you're right. Arthur also incredibly educational and played a huge role in our childhood as well.
Definitely. I can distinctly recall watching Arthur on like Friday mornings in elementary school, and you know the theme song, just, every day when you walk down the street. Regardless, I mean, both of these shows deserve to be as long running as they were. Arthur's going to be on television in reruns, I'm sure, for many years to come, but SpongeBob going to still keep going.
Oh, absolutely. And we need to make sure that these shows are passed down to younger generations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No Cocomelon around here.
No.
But when we come back, we learn what our film reporter is expecting from the Oscars.
And Syracuse's new Micron Day brought out the best and the brightest. We'll be right back on Peelers. Welcome to Live from Studio B.
Welcome to another episode of Culturally and Technically Legal.
Previously on Survivor. Welcome back to the Esports Juice Box, where we break down this week's esports news into digestible sizes for easy consumption.
Welcome back to Unpeeled. It's the most cinematic time of the year. The 97th Academy Awards will air this Sunday from 7 to 10 p.m. Our film reporter Rob Gabrick is here to preview the upcoming event.
Thanks, Ricky. Well, it is the most wonderful time of the year. Thank God it's Oscar season, where we film buffs get to watch our favorite films either get their flowers or get passed over, and the time of year where the average movie watcher has no idea what anyone's talking about. Luckily, I'm the former. We got a lot to talk about, so let's just dive right in. First off, it's going to be impossible to miss that bright orange pompadour haircut donned by Oscars host Conan O'Brien. O'Brien takes center stage at the 97th Academy Awards after Jimmy Kimmel hosted the event in 2023 and 24. In an interview with Good Morning America, O'Brien said, "If you like close-up magic tricks, you'll be very happy with my Oscars performance." I mean, this has absolutely nothing to do with the Academy Awards, but it's just one example of the new Oscar host's delightful personality. Following his departure from late-night TV in 2021, he began his podcast, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, and made a fan for life in your favorite film reporter, me. After Sunday night, I'm very confident you'll all fall for his whimsical charm, just like I did. But enough with Conan. Let's talk about some movies. My favorite film up for nominations is Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. Nosferatu is nominated for 4 Academy Awards: Best Cinematography, Costume Design, Makeup and Hairstyling, and Production Design. But what makes Nosferatu so excellent is Bill Skarsgård's adaptation of Count Orlok. His performance itself was captivating at every turn, but his look, which includes no added CGI, makes the film stick out. This lack of CGI is rare in today's era of film, and is a testament to Eggers' dedication to creating true art. Lastly, the one actor I have my eyes on is none other than Timothée Chalamet. Chalamet had himself a year starring as Paul Atreides in Dune Part 2 and as Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown, which earned him a nomination for Best Actor in a Leading Role. Dune Part 2 also earned itself 5 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture. I'm not in the business of making predictions, but I would not be surprised if Chalamet adds some new hardware to his mantle this Sunday.
Thanks, Rob. And now featuring another exciting event, SU's Micron Day. Here to recap the inaugural program is our Syracuse events reporter, Sydney Chan.
Thanks, Ben. On Tuesday, February 25th, Syracuse hosted its first ever Micron Day, which was full of festivities and celebrated the technology, new beginnings, and fellowship between the university, Micron, and the local Central New York community. Micron Technology is primarily known for manufacturing semiconductor, memory, and storage solutions. In less techie terms, they make a ton of computer memory chips. It's a $100 billion investment in the state-of-the-art chip-making factory just about 14 miles away is forecasted to create nearly 50,000 jobs, helping to not only boost the local economy, but also put the region on the map as a leader in this field. SU is training the next generation of skilled professionals to work in this flourishing market. Tuesday's itinerary began with a Syracuse alumni panel from current Micron employees. Then, Micron leaders delve into some company specifics, such as their supply chain operations and budding plans. And to close out the afternoon, J. Michael Haney, SU's Vice Chancellor for Strategic Initiatives and Innovation, sat down with Micron leaders April Arnzen and Scott Gatesmayer to discuss how Micron will support Central New York through its development in the area. All in all, it was a successful day and brought awareness to some potential work options for soon-to-be Orange grads. I'm Sydney Chan, your Syracuse events reporter. Ben, I'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Sydney. When we come back, we see where some star-studded shakeups are happening on Broadway. Stay tuned, Unpeelers.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner! Go?
Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. We're the family.
Yeah!
Oh, I thought you were on my team.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Broadway is buzzing as actors take on new roles in upcoming shows. Our reporter Sophia DeStasso is here to tell us more. Sophia, I am so excited to talk about this with you. So which actors, I know that so many of them have been joining Broadway shows, which ones are taking roles in current productions?
There are so many that are joining new shows. So first we have Jordan Fisher. He's joining Tony-winning musical Moulin Rouge in April, and this is going to reunite him with Solia Pfiffer, and they did Hadestown together, so fans are really excited to see them get back together on stage. Then we also have Sutton Foster, and she is joining Coal Miner's Daughter, which is currently in development, but it is a show based on a 1980s film and autobiography. Then we also have Nasia Thomas and Nicholas Edwards joining a show called The Last 5 Years, and this is a story based off of New Yorkers that are falling in and out of love over the course of 5 years, and their show will begin March 15th.
Awesome. So I've also heard that, some started even last week.
Yeah, a lot of them did. So for The Lion King, we had Juliana Martinez and Leela Chopra join the cast, and they are both playing the role of young Nala, which is going to alternate every week. And then for 6 on Broadway, there were 6 new actors that took the lead roles of all the queens, and they took their bows on Friday.
So we talked about, who started last week, who's starring in current productions, but I have to know, what are you most excited to see?
Rickie, I'm so excited to see Jordan Fisher and Solia Pfiffer reunite on stage. They were so good in Hadestown together, so I know fans, including myself, are excited to see them again. And I'm also excited to see Leela Chopra because she was actually the voice of Nina on Netflix's show Cocomelon. Wow. So I'm excited to see how she goes from being on a Netflix show to being on a Broadway stage. So in general, there's so many actors joining Broadway shows and fans are looking forward to it.
Absolutely. I'm going to have to make my way to the big stage, but Ben, I think you have more.
I do. Nearly 90% of video games bought within the last 3 years were purchased digitally. So in the day and age of digital downloads, our esports reporter Nathaniel Cunningham explains how a local Syracuse business is leveling up its game.
Not too long ago, arcades were seen as gaming of the future. But now in 2025, with more and more games going digital, arcades have fizzled out. Except here at Love Handles, where games bring the guests.
We're 4 blocks from a local middle school. So the thought is kids coming here after school sometimes. Families can come and spend a little bit of money, but have it be an experience and stay for an hour or more.
But families don't have to spend that money on the games. All the arcade systems inside Love Handles are free, and that invites everyone inside.
We're just accepting, it's a warm, inviting atmosphere. We accept all different walks of life, and we have something for everyone to do here.
While games like Pac-Man, chess, or even the frozen yogurt might get people in the door, Love Handle's real goal is to make a sense of community.
We want to be a bridge here in the community. How can we help the community in a fun way and just come alongside them in different ways, even if it's free family events, things like that.
Love Handles has offered Waitlist Wednesday, character meet and greets, or free froyo on Halloween. But one promo stands above them all.
We match the tax of every sale to a local charity and or organization, so people come out to see their different charities on the list each month.
As of November 2024, Love Handles has donated nearly $40,000 to charity, all to show that the sticks can meet the swirls. Nathaniel Cunningham, Citrus TV.
Well, one of those Waitlist Wednesdays is tonight. Thanks, Nathaniel. When we come back, we learn about a Syracuse native's new controversial reality show. Don't go anywhere, Unpeelers.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. you'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
Welcome back to Unpeeled. Alec Baldwin and his wife Hilaria are starring together in a brand new reality show on TLC just months after prosecutors withdrew appeals concerning the actor's involuntary manslaughter charge. Here to tell us more about its premiere is our reality TV reporter, Lane Yeager. Lane, it's an honor to be doing our second Q&A together now. So first things first, could you tell us a little bit about the show's first episode?
Absolutely. The Baldwins premiered Sunday night on TLC and introduced viewers to the familial dynamic between Alec, his wife Hilaria, and their 7 children. Now, filming for the show began just a month prior to Alec's New Mexico trial in connection to the fatal shooting of cinematographer Helena Hutchins, in which he faced a maximum sentencing of up to 18 months in prison. Now, this first episode briefly touches on the tragedy, but the majority of the episode highlights the tedious act of managing their 9-person household.
Okay, so sounds pretty interesting. Now, what do critics have to say in response to this?
The show has already received very negative feedback from critics due to the show's, quote, carefully curated authenticity. Now, in a review for Time magazine, TV critic Judy Berman claimed the show was so obsessive in its quest to make the Baldwins seem like normal people, it forgets to be even the slightest bit interesting. Now, on the same note, a chief TV critic for Variety stated, "The Baldwins feels like being trapped on vacation with someone else's family." Now, I don't know about you, but for me, that sounds like an absolute nightmare, and that really comes across within this first episode.
Yeah, sounds awful, but what can viewers expect to see from the Baldwins moving forward?
Producers have stated that Alec's trial only occupies the first half of the season, so it's clear that the emphasis on family and tradition within this first episode will make way for a lighter second half of the season, as the show really strives towards the public rehabilitation of the Baldwins' image.
Well, we'll have to see what happens, but thank you so much, Lane. Rickie, over to you now.
Thank you guys so much. Have you been feeling a little out of the loop with all of the pop culture news around you? Well, our pop culture reporter Sigourney Bell has all the updates for you.
Do you wish there was more time to scroll on TikTok to really understand these niche pop culture memes? Well, me too, actually. But since you're busy, I have your pop culture in less than minutes. Let's go. My first story comes from the musical Cabaret, which is all about jazz, or is it? The musical has hidden undertones speaking to the rise of Nazi power during the 1930s, and the musical uses symbolic scenes to speak to the oppression of Jewish people during the time. One scene uses a metaphor of having a character dressed as a gorilla to explain that despite what society thinks about her being Jewish, he still loves her. However, this scene is not being understood, and modern audiences are laughing throughout the serious message, causing actors on stage to be very angry that the point and deeper meaning is getting lost. And speaking of music, the artist Biba Doobie makes an annoyed response video over a meme that went viral saying she couldn't sing. Fans are saying Biba Doobie is overreacting because the video was obviously satirical, because it said the artist that could sing was this overly auto-tuned singer that made this TikTok song called I Miss the Rage, which is an objectively bad song. So the video was meant to be a joke and lighthearted, but Biba Doobie did not see it in that light. And let's keep it going with Bad Baby's diss track against Alabama Barker. The two have been fighting online ever since Alabama cheated with the father of Bad Baby's kid. Bad Baby has responded with a diss track sampling Kanye West's song Carnival, and fans are actually loving it. And speaking of love, Tate McRae's new music video featuring some great dancing and acting is a hit. Fans attempt to recreate her foot holds and twist as a new trend. The hit song from Tate was needed as she is wanted in something called the Kia Asylum, which is basically an online jail that holds retired or no longer interesting pop girls, and is named after the rapper Kia, who was a one-hit wonder. Current Key Asylum residents are Dua Lipa and Katy Perry, since they haven't had any big hits. Many say Taylor Swift is in danger of being admitted to the Key Asylum unless she produces something good enough to top the charts. But artists like Sabrina Carpenter and Charli XCX are safe because of their recent traction. And finally, Air One is selling $19 strawberries for literally no reason. Well, that's your pop culture fill from your favorite pop culture reporter, Sigourney Bell.
Thank you so much, Sigourney. When we return, we rank who on the Unpeeled cast is making it the longest on Survivor. Stay tuned.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Welcome back to Unpeeled. Survivor may just be starting its 48th season, but host Jeff Probst is already making a big splash with headlines about the landmark 50th season. Probst took to social media this week to announce that the theme and game design of season 50 will be in the fans' hands.
The winning votes will not be released until the airing of the show for both the fans and the castaways. Voting for the season will be available at survivor50cbs.votenow.tv. This is one of the longest running reality TV shows, competition show to say the least. What do you think about it?
Oh, I mean, it's absolutely iconic. I don't know if you watched it at all growing up, but my family and I always did. I remember just seeing it as a kid, watching it on TV, and I gotta be honest with you, the early seasons, I was a little disgusted at some of the things that they had to do, like rolling around in the mud and having to eat things like tarantulas. Like, I'm an arachnophobe. I hate spiders. I'm terrified of spiders. Eating one, I absolutely could never imagine. So yeah, but it was interesting though, and I was definitely captivated from a very young age.
Oh, definitely. You know, shows like that show what it would be like if modern day humans got to like live in the wild or live how everything was like before technology. It's just so, it's funny to see really, but we here at Unpeeled actually took our own poll to see who we think would be like the longest running survivor, and we have this pie chart here. Yeah. So purple is Siggy, 50%. Wow, shout out Siggy. All right. Yeah. And then the two greens are Nate and Rob. Yeah. Nate with 41%, and then Rob got a few. I won't call them sympathy votes, but Rob got some votes.
Y'all only believe in 3 people? Unbelievable.
3 out of 7 of us on the show this week.
Yeah.
But let's break this down. You know, pie by pie. Siggy, right?
Yeah.
She has this clever way about her, yes. This like these super instinctive traits that I think like would make her go far in the show. That's why I completely understand her being a popular pick.
Yeah, she's like one of those funny like TV characters that like no matter how many times people try to mess with her, she always finds a way to just keep coming back. So I definitely understand why she got the most amount of votes here.
And so moving on from her, we have the big dog, Nate. All 6'5" of him. You know, that's a pretty obvious pick. When you're, you know, above 6'3", it's kind of difficult to not be, you know, imposing or be able to, I guess, like, you know, conduct your way in the wild, really.
Oh, I mean, Nate has this sense of toughness about him. He's definitely, you know, built like he has like the physical and the mental capacity to last through a Survivor. You know what I mean? He's like, oh yeah, he's like LeVar Ball, too big, too strong. You know what I mean?
Undefeated, never lost.
Absolutely.
And so now we have this small portion here dedicated to our film reporter, Rob. I think Rob could make his way around. I think he could do something.
I could see it. I feel like Rob definitely has that old school mentality to him. I feel like when it comes to having to live off the land without a lot of technology or anything like that, I think he'd do a great job.
Absolutely. Well, these are 3 awesome picks, but unfortunately, that is all the time we have with you tonight.
Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to follow us on our socials at CitrusTV on X and at Unpeeled_Syracuse on Instagram. I'm Ben Deitrick.
And I'm Rickie Potts. Have a warm night, Syracuse.